We're here to offer simple, jargon-free information and dispel some of the myths around shared ownership.
There's lots of different information. Everyone displays it in a different way. So yes, it can be daunting, especially for a first-time buyer, new to the scene, which is why we do a lot of hand-holding at that time.
You'll be armed with all the information you need and reassured that your home ownership ambition is achievable. Shared ownership is a part-own, part-rent scheme. So you buy a share of the property and you pay rent on the balance of it. So with shared ownership, you could, for example, buy 25% share of a property that's worth 400,000. So you're buying £100,000 worth of that property, and your deposit required for that will be 5%. So £5,000 to own a £400,000 property. So the route allows first-time buyers to get onto the property ladder where they wouldn't be able to with a smaller deposit. You can buy between 25% and 75% of your home through the shared ownership scheme. The rest is accounted for by a discounted rent to a housing association like us. And normally the combined rent and mortgage payments is lower than you would normally pay on a rental property. Shared ownership is a cheaper option by way of monthly payments than buying an outright sale property. Currently, we are offering a £99 reservation fee, and a lot of our properties are bought and reserved off-plan. Buying off-plan means that you have a target to aim for, so you can use that period to save for the upcoming completion of your property. So you can buy on shared ownership if your household income is 80,000 or less, or 90,000 or less in London. You do need to be over 18 and you mustn't own another home. We sometimes have developments where you must live or work in the local area or the local borough. There's a minimum deposit of 5%. We're a national housing association, so you are able to buy homes in London and the rest of the country. You need to be able to cover the 5% deposit that you'll need to buy the property. And then you'll be referred to an independent financial advisor who will assess your income levels and make sure you can afford to buy the property. The shared ownership scheme is available to all buyers, so young families, retirees, whereas the Help to Buy product that's available from the government is only now for first-time buyers.
Shared ownership has a different setup, so you are only paying 5% of the value you are purchasing. So if you're buying 25% share, you are paying 5% deposit of that 25, whereas with Help to Buy, you're paying 5% deposit of the whole value of the property, so 100%.
With Help to Buy, you are giving an interest-free loan essentially for 5 years. After that period, you start paying back your loan at 1.75% interest, and that increases every single year with inflation. Also, it's based on the value of your property at that point. So if you wanted to pay that back after 5 years, it would be based on the value at that time rather than when you paid for it. When you want to sell the property or shared ownership property, you can sell through the housing association that you bought through. They normally require a minimum period, so maybe 3 months or 6 months to sell your property because they have a list of people that are looking, after which you are able to go to any private estate agent to sell your shares in your property. The shared ownership scheme is available on all products, so you can buy a house, a bungalow, a flat in a city centre. The scheme is available on all products. The other common myth is that it's just for low income or key workers, and that's not true, it's open to everyone. You can have pets with permission, depending on the development that you buy into. And you are able to decorate and keep up with the trends, and you are able to sell your home with shared ownership at any point. With shared ownership, you can do something that we call staircasing, and that's buying shares of your property until you own 100% of it. There are lots of myths about shared ownership, and it's a way of getting on the property ladder. Most people find that they don't own their home if they have a mortgage. If they're buying a private sale property, they still don't own their home outright because the bank owns part of it. That's part of a mortgage property. With shared ownership, it's no different. You buy a share And once you're able to pay off that share, you can then buy increments and more shares until you own 100% of the mortgage. Service charge is basically to cover the communal costs, so you could have communal lighting, communal parkland, green space, gyms, concierge. Currently, the government has a special incentive running until the end of June, so if you complete on your property and the value is below 500,000, you won't have to pay a penny in stamp duty. That's a tax. Above that, you will have to pay a portion of it. Stamp duty could be in excess of £15,000 depending on the share value that you buy. Stamp duty with shared ownership is flexible. You can pay at the point of buying your share, or you can pay at the very end. Most cases with shared ownership, you are paying less than you would when you were renting. If you want to buy more shares in your home, that will mean your mortgage payments increase, but your rent decreases. If you own 100% of the property, it's just like any other home. You are able to go to the open market and an estate agent, a private estate agent, to sell your property. There are 4 clear steps to owning your home through shared ownership. The first one is to make sure your credit file is looking good. Step 2 is, once you've found your dream home, to apply to us. Step 3 is to be assessed by an independent financial advisor to make sure that you can afford to buy the property. Step 4 and the final step is that the independent financial advisor will make a recommendation as to the shares that you buy for the property, and then it's up to you to decide what you want to do.